Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would cover off one of the main questions that I get asked about perfume and do it through the lens of the gorgeous Miss Dior fragrance. So the first thing I'm going to address here is, what is the difference between an eau de parfum and an eau de toilette? It is not just a name, it does actually mean something, and essentially it's to do with how much perfume there is in the bottle. So by perfume, I'm referring to the oils and the things that actually produce the smell that you smell on a perfume. So obviously the whole bottle is not just like all different oils. There's alcohol in there and probably water. And all sorts of other things as well, I don't know, chemicals, preservatives, whatever. An eau de toilette usually has about half as much fragrance in it as an eau de parfum. And then some lines do an even stronger version, which can be called an eau de parfum intense. And then there's sometimes another version, which is just called perfume, and this is almost like a pure perfume. It usually comes in a very small bottle, and it's basically you just put a tiny dab of it on. There's none of this like spraying stuff. So that's basically what the difference is between eau de toilette and eau de parfum. As a result, eau de toilettes are cheaper than eau de parfums because there's less expensive ingredients in there. Now, some fragrance brands have taken this a step further, like in the case of Miss Dior, and actually put different fragrant notes in the eau de toilette than in the eau de parfum. So they're not exactly the same fragrance, they're slightly different. And that is also kind of represented in the fact that it comes in a different shaped bottles and different coloured liquid. So Miss Dior Eau de Parfum comes in a oblong rectangle shaped bottle with orangey liquid in. The Miss Dior Eau de Toilette is in a square shaped bottle with pink liquid in. It also, eau de toilette only comes in a 50ml and 100ml, whereas I think Miss Dior Eau de Parfum comes in like 30, 50 and 100ml, so you can get it in a smaller size as well. So that is the difference in terms of the naming. So let's talk about what they actually smell like. So the first thing to note is that they do have a lot of notes in common, and unlike most perfumes, they actually don't have many notes in each one. So in Miss Dior, there are actually just 5 different fragrances in there, and in Miss Dior de Toilette there are only 4. So that's quite unusual to have such a simple makeup. Usually there's like maybe 10 different like top notes, middle notes, bottom notes. So they are quite simplistic fragrances. So you've really got to like the fragrance, the notes that are in there, because they're not going to fade and be replaced really by something else, because there's not anything else in there, if that makes sense. So Miss Dior Eau de Toilette I actually have here. I love these fragrances. I preferred them before when they were called Miss Dior Cherie, and they had popcorn notes in them. They reformulated them and made them into a cheaper formula, but increased the price, and got Natalie Portman as their spokesperson, but never mind, that's all in the past now. So what are the notes that they have in common? So the main note in both perfumes is patchouli. So I have actually been to the shop and have put Miss Dior on my wrist, and I have Miss Dior Eau de Toilette here. So patchouli is the main note in both of them. So patchouli is in things like Coco Mademoiselle, Flower Bomb, Jimmy Choo. It's quite common in a lot of ladies' perfumes, and most ladies like this smell. I love patchouli. It's in the sort of Chypre fragrance family, which means it's not a sweet perfume, it's not a fruity perfume, It's not a aromatic perfume, it's chypre, which kind of like means it's like a warm feminine smell. It's really nice, basically, and I think that's part of the reason why these fragrances are so popular. You put patchouli in, most women are gonna love it. So what else is in here? So the second biggest note in both of them is rose. So this is kind of like your English country garden fresh rose. It doesn't really smell like that fake rose smell you can get from things like, what's that stuff people put in their houses to make potpourri? It's not like that. And it's not like the rose fragrance smell that you get in rose sweets. It is actually like a rose in a garden, a bit fresher, lighter. So I think that's really lovely. Kind of like a red rose, like a bouquet of roses, sort of Valentine's Day smell. It's really nice. And then the third thing that they have in common is that they both have jasmine in here as well. So what happens then is they differ. So in the Eau de Toilette, there is one more fragrance, and that is blood orange. So when you first spray it, you do get a little hit of that blood orange, like that zesty fresh smell. That will disappear after about 10 seconds. So don't assume that that first smell of a perfume is what it's actually going to smell like. It's definitely not. Most of them have these nice, so usually fruit top notes, like a lemon or an orange or something, which is very nice when you smell it, but that's not what you're going to smell like all day when you've got it on. But it's still nice. In the Eau de Parfum, they have used mandarin orange, so slightly different. I think it makes it a little bit warmer, whereas the Eau de Toilette is like, blood orange is quite sharp, whereas mandarin is more warm, if that makes sense, but very similar. So that is all the notes that are in the Eau de Toilette. The Eau de Parfum also has a musky fragrance in there, which helps with its longevity. So this is the main difference between the two perfumes, the fact that the Eau de Parfum is going to last longer. However, massive caveat here, neither perfume lasts very long. Miss Dior fragrances are not known for lasting a long time, unfortunately. They smell beautiful, the packaging is beautiful, the advertisement, the branding is all beautiful, super high quality, really lovely. Unfortunately, when it comes to lasting, they're really quite rubbish. They are not the type of fragrance where someone walks by and you're like, oh, they smell nice. They're not the type of fragrance where you're going to get loads of compliments every day saying, oh, that smells nice, what are you wearing? Even if you cover yourself in it and do like 10 sprays, in 4 hours time, no, it's not going to be there. And it's such a shame. It makes me so sad, because I think if they did nail the longevity, these would literally be like the best perfumes ever. But the thing is, I think they're mainly bought as gifts by men, by mums, by whoever, and when you're choosing it in a shop, you can't tell how long it's going to last, right? So when you get to that bit, then you've already bought it, so never mind. What I would say though is, if you're thinking about giving these perfumes as a gift, the Eau de Toilette is a bit cheaper, maybe like £20 cheaper at each size, so you will save a little bit of money. And unless the person you're buying it for is really into fragrance and or has had it before, they probably won't even know what the difference is between the two, so you can get away with spending that little bit less. I'd also say if the person you're buying it for is a teenager, or if you're a teenager, then the Eau de Toilette might be better, because that musky undertone of the Eau de Parfum is probably a little bit more grown-up fragrance, a little bit more sultry, whereas the Eau de Toilette's more like happy-go-lucky. These are very expensive fragrances, is the last thing that you need to think about here. So you are looking at, you know, £100 for the full size. And it is a beautiful gift. They will gift wrap it. Make sure you ask to get it gift wrapped. And what is also, I think, the thing with all the Miss Dior fragrances, but especially these, because they have such fantastic branding, they are an incredibly desirable gift. you know, if you open this gift, a gift of Miss Dior, like, you're really gonna be happy because, you know, it's a prestige brand. Natalie Portman, the whole thing is all just beautiful, so you're not really gonna let someone down by getting it. So it is like a big, and people know that it's expensive as well, so that's going to be like a big tick in your favor. Last minor point, there is an original Miss Dior perfume that was released like in the 50s or something. A lot of stockists don't even sell it. Just be careful if you're not being helped by a shop assistant that you don't pick this one up off the shelf. It's like a tall bottle, so the packaging is tall, and it's white and gold packaging rather than like the white and pink and silver of the new Miss Dior. And it basically really smells like old ladies, I'm afraid, and it's only old ladies that buy it. I'm sure it was very nice in the 50s, but not anymore. So just one caveat, just be careful you don't get that by accident. So that's it. I hope you found this review helpful, this comparison. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below, or if you found any of these things, you disagree with any of these things, whatever, just leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I will leave the reviews to some of my other perfumes, like perfume reviews, like the Miss Dior Blooming Bouquet review down below, but that's it for now. So thank you so much for watching, and see you again real soon. Bye.